diplomatically challenge you. One of the things I think is an issue is that mockery is risky because it is easy to be wrong and very difficult to be right. When we want to get our info in their heads, the problem is that we're not typically engaging their minds if we're not closely already connected with their values. And so that tends to be the reason why mockery works best for in-group rather than out-group. If we're actually trying to do outreach, diplomacy by and large is a much more effective tool. One of the other issues, it comes down again to a minority versus majority position. When JT references people who are entrenching themselves and making themselves seem more ridiculous, well, the problem is that they're doing that in masses, when we marginalize a vast majority of people rather than coming to them on common ground and finding all the things that we do have in common with them much more than not, I think that is rather unproductive in the long run. JT made a few overgeneralities. When you reference specific religious people who aren't trying, if you say religious people aren't trying, well, that's not really true. There are many religious people that are trying and are struggling on their own paths and that have a variety of positions. There's some that, well, I recognize that the evidence for an ancient earth is valid, but I still believe in like the historical arguments for resurrection of Jesus, and they will go well out of their way to do a lot of research into that. I still think they're wrong, but I don't think trying to pretend like most people aren't, or most religious people, or all religious people aren't trying. And that I don't know who JT confronts on a regular basis, and sometimes I'm sure that's true. But well, my main point to dovetail off of that is that religion may be a problem, but religion is a big category. Technically, the ethical society is, or ethical humanism is classified by the government as a religion, and it's tax exempt. And religion is a very large spectrum. So one of the things that I see firebrands doing that diplomats do better is that we wait for tactful reasons, very specific reasons that we enumerate that say, we're not concerned about just the generality of religion. We're concerned about issue X, Y, and Z, and that incidentally those things, the reason that they're a problem actually have foundational issues in religion, and we wait for those specific examples before we move in for the kill, so to speak. And it's a conversation that people can empathize with, and a lot of religious people do see that, okay, I have my own beliefs, but I need to justify this in the public discourse because, you know, we're coming from lots of different backgrounds. And I think diplomats can do that job a lot better. Another problem is shame is ubiquitous. Everybody's trying to shame everybody else. And when everybody's trying to do that, and as I mentioned in my opening speech, we have a culture of vastly different values. And so that doesn't really work. That function at sort of the metacultural level just doesn't work. It's a poor use of that concept, in my opinion. And I have some comments on going forward with I mean, JT mentioned that most movements get started with people who are outraged and angry, and I have things to say that I don't think I have time to get into right now